Deep Meditation with Bodhisattva Sri Swami Premodaya, recorded live in Los Angeles. Flow with the go.
So let yourself fall into a meditative space. These meditations are meditations of understanding. And understanding happens most deeply beyond the mind. A meditative position is really a position that includes the mind but goes beyond the mind. It isn't just mental understanding. So let yourself fall into yourself and listen from that place that hears through all of you, not just through the mind. Then words actually have the potential to transform, not just educate. And let yourself relax as deeply as you can. Because again, relaxation allows you to listen, allows things to enter, allows you to take in far more. And by all means, be comfortable, be relaxed. You know that for the next hour, you're not going anywhere. You're just here, so really be here. You came here for a reason. You're listening to this for a reason. You didn't come from curiosity. You didn't come because you had nothing better to do. You came because something in you wants to go deeper. Something in you has heard a call that calls you beyond the ordinary life, beyond the everyday. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to listen to this. So relax into that within you that seeks to know, that seeks to understand, that seeks to find. These are meditations of understanding, of seeing things from a non-everyday perspective. You've already learned everything you can learn from the everyday world. It's already given you whatever understanding, whatever knowing it can give. Something in you knows that more is possible, but that it doesn't come from the everyday life. It doesn't come from figuring things out. It doesn't come from analyzing. It comes from opening. And it's you that has to open. So let yourself right now practice opening. Whatever is needed to be more open now, see if you can do it right now. And it's actually very simple. Whether it's something physical, whether it's something mental, whether it's an attitude, just see what you can do right now that opens you more, that frees your heart more. Simply opening, simply allowing, just relaxing, just not holding. It's always possible to be more open. It's always possible to allow more, to relax more. See how much in this hour you can do that. Whatever that means for you. And this is what the everyday life doesn't afford much opportunity for. Opening, relaxing, allowing. The everyday life is hustle bustle. Get it done. Move forward. Move, move, move. Do, do, do. It doesn't leave much time for you. So it's really up to you to make the time and to take the time. And oddly enough, that can be done in the middle of all the doing. The inner attitude can be one of non-doing while the outer is doing all the doing. So being in a meditative frame of mind doesn't have to involve a special time in a special place, although that's always good. But you can step beyond the mind in the supermarket, in your car, in the bathtub, anywhere, anytime. And more you get the knack. Has something to do with opening. Has something to do with relaxing. Has something to do with allowing. We live in one of the most hustle-bustle cities in America. So the circumstances won't provide it. You have to pay attention to it. On the way here tonight, I don't know where you came from, but where I came from, the traffic was unusually heavy. Everybody trying to get somewhere. And we've all seen this. The cars that try to go around on the freeway on the shoulder, get around another car when there's no room to do that, not realizing they're holding up traffic by doing that, putting themselves in harm's way, putting you in jeopardy to save, 3 seconds, get one car length ahead. So it occurred to me watching all this wacky traffic that this is actually how most of us live, just like traffic in Los Angeles. Trying to get one car length ahead. Trying to go around. Trying to cut the corner. Most of the time we don't know we're doing it. It's a kind of a antagonism towards the reality of things, trying to bend things to what's convenient to us or what we'd prefer. But deep down, it's a misunderstanding. It's a kind of an attempt to bargain with life, to bargain with existence, to bargain with the universe. Let me just get to this place. Let this one thing turn out right. Please let things line up the way I'd like. It's a constant kind of a bargaining that we don't even recognize we're doing. And I call it a misunderstanding because, in fact, you can't bargain with life. You can't bargain with the universe. You're just talking to yourself. The universe doesn't bargain. The universe don't play that. So we fool ourselves constantly. We really do. We fool ourselves that this maneuver, that maneuver, this way of doing, that way of going, if I just think the right way, if I just do the right thing, it'll turn out this way, it'll turn out that way, it'll turn out the way I hope it turns out. But guess what? Life doesn't care. It turns out the way it turns out. And life takes care of it. Existence takes care of it. Any idea we have that we did it is just our own ego. Just our own illusion. Just our own belief that the bargaining is effective. You can't bargain with existence. It's so subtle, we really don't realize we're doing it. It's programmed in, we learn it from the beginning. Everybody around us teaches us to do it. But it's the same as that guy on the freeway trying to pass you by going on the right shoulder where there's no way to get around. It's exactly like that. There's no way to bargain. There's no way to get a different result than the one that's already there, the one that's already in play. The one that existence is doing already. But in our misunderstanding, we think, we believe that we can make it different. But that's really bargaining with the universe. That's really our idea. The universe isn't in a bargaining position with us. And the reason is because we're not separate from the universe. We're not separate from existence. It's like the thread trying to tell the tapestry what the picture should be. The thread can't do it. It's one thread. The picture on the tapestry is whatever it is. It's already determined. If the thread thinks it should be different, It's just the thread bargaining, thinking that it's going to change the picture. You're that thread, an integral part of the tapestry. Without you, without that thread, it's a different tapestry. But you're not separate. What the universe has determined, what existence is up to, includes you. Everything you do, everything you think, all that you feel, and everything that happens for you. It's not separate from life. It's not separate from existence. It's not separate from all that is, the all and the everything. You are an integral part of the all and the everything. This is the basic teaching of all spiritual paths. At least on that, they pretty much agree. But we forget. We bargain. We feel separate, so we think we are separate. So I'm simply reminding you, it's not that you're in existence. It's not that you're in the universe. You are existence. Existence lives through you. The universe universes through you. You're the local outcropping in your chair of all that is. This just has to be understood a little bit, considered a little bit. It's not hard to either see or accept. And the more you consider it, a time comes, a moment comes when you start to actually feel it. When you start to actually plug into, wait a minute. I am part of it. It's part of me. There's no dividing line. Inner peace is giving up the bargaining. Inner peace is the thread, no longer trying to change the whole tapestry. Because if you even try to bargain one little thing, the implications involve the whole tapestry. And ordinarily we don't recognize that. But that's what we're really doing. So the possibility is to stop fighting with existence. Bargaining is a kind of fighting. It's saying not this way, that way. But existence is going the way it's going, no matter what you think about it, no matter how you feel about it. So why not go with the flow? Why not relax and give up the fight? Why not recognize that you are life? Not you have a life. Not you're living life. Life is living you. You are it. Language is very deceiving here because in our language we say, my life. There's a have in front of it. There's a possession implied. But we don't possess life, we are life. And the mystery of it is we don't know what that means. We don't know how we got here. We don't know how we stay here. It's nothing we do. You don't remind yourself to breathe. You don't remind your heart to beat. And we don't know when we're leaving here. This is the great mystery. And yet we think there's something to bargain about. There's something to control. There's something we have to do to make it all turn out right. But if you're here, existence took care of that. You didn't do it. And if you're continuing to be here, existence is supporting that. You're not doing it. You're not reminding yourself, okay, stay alive, stay on this planet. It's taken care of. It's fully supported. And you'll stay alive for exactly till the very nanosecond that existence doesn't want you alive anymore. But until that moment, you're absolutely needed here. You are absolutely integral. And after that moment, that doesn't change. It just won't be in this specific place, in this specific way. There's no divisions in existence. There's no threshold where now you've made it and before you weren't quite there. If you're here, you're there. You made it. And oddly enough, not because of anything you did. This is very hard to accept because we live with a sense that we're doing something. Well, doing is happening. But is it really happening from you? Or is it happening through you? So to go with the flow really means to cooperate with existence, to not fight, to recognize the need to bargain, and to let go of it. To recognize the bigness of things, even though we feel so small. But you're part of that bigness. Everybody is. No dividing lines. We put in the dividing lines. The mind does that. That's just how the mind functions. But you can see beyond that if you really consider what's going on. Millions of people, millions of doings, billions of planets, endless space, eons of time. What are we bargaining with? It's vast beyond any comprehension we could ever hope to have. It's not something to get a hold of. It's not something to get a handle on. It's more mysterious than that. It's something to surrender to. Now, why is it something to surrender to? Because it's already the case. Because you're already in it. Because there's no escape from it. There's no doorway out. There's no escape hatch. Here you are. Have you ever been able to figure a way out? Here you are. So although this idea sometimes makes people feel terrified when they ponder it, it's actually good news. It's the news that it's all already taken care of. It's all happening without you having to do anything. That doesn't mean you don't live your life. That doesn't mean you don't make decisions. That doesn't even mean you don't like what you happen to like and not dislike what you happen to dislike. It means you recognize what's bigger, what's deeper, what's closer to that which is eternal and infinite, instead of just what's in the room where you are. Because the room where you are is sitting in the middle of eternity and infinity. You're already there. It's not that you die and then enter eternity. You're sitting in eternity now. You've never been anywhere else. You can't go anywhere else. Time exists in eternity. Space exists in infinity. They're not polar opposites. There isn't space and then there's infinity. Space is a subset of infinity, contained in infinity. And that's the space you're already in. Doesn't it make sense to recognize that as fully as we can? To really see where we really are? To really know our real situation? That's what I mean by surrender to it. Understand it. We fight with so many things. We don't accept so many things. Fighting just means not accepting. Because we don't give our attention to where we really are and what's really going on. Eternity is going on right now. Infinity is happening right now. All that is right now. In 100 billion rooms all over the world. In 100 million, billion, gazillion pieces of space all over the universe. Who knows what's out there? But whatever it is, whatever form it's taking, it's no different than this. Because it's all sitting in the same thing. That which is. Some call it reality. Some call it truth. Some call it God. Some call it existence. It doesn't matter what you call it. It is what it is. And to fight with it to bargain with it, to try to control it, to think that we have some handle on it is just arrogance, just ignorance, just misunderstanding. So imagine a life not fighting with the river, not trying to change its course. A life where the river carries you, because the river's already carrying you. All our bargaining is just us trying to swim upstream. But letting the current carry you works much better. It's practical. It makes sense. And if you experiment with it, if you ponder it, if you look into it, I guarantee you, you'll become more peaceful. You'll become more accepting. Life will be less daunting. How could it be otherwise? If you're fighting less with life, how could it not become less daunting? This life isn't a burden. It isn't some prison you've been cast into, although it can feel like that in difficult moments. But you have to see the big picture. It helps to see the big picture, to think about it, to consider it, to remember it. But most of all for the purpose of starting to experience it, starting to directly experience what is, including yourself, always including yourself. All our focus from the time we're born is outward. Our eyes look outward. Start including yourself. Turn your eyes in the other direction, because you are absolutely integral. There is no outward without you. In that sense, the center of the universe is wherever you are. You can feel that right now. You are the point of awareness that is the center of the universe. Can you feel it? Can you feel how you're at the center? That's what awareness is. A center point. And you are a point of awareness. This is another part of the fantastic mystery. Each one of us, the center of the universe. Each one of us, the center of awareness of all that is. It's amazing. The mind will never comprehend it. It's not about the mind. It can't be figured out. It's so much vaster than that. Beyond time, beyond space, beyond the mind. Beyond all ideas of anything. Because it's not an idea. It's the reality of what is. But most of us are looking through the glasses of our idea of what is, our interpretation of reality. That's how we limit ourselves. That's how we make ourselves separate. That's how we experience ourselves as the thread rather than the tapestry. So it's very important to develop a perspective that really tells us, that lets us have the direct experience of the real nature of things, which includes us, and oddly enough includes everything. We're the excluders. Existence excludes nothing. We're the ones who choose pleasure over pain, and yet existence always includes both pleasure and pain. We're the ones who judge things as good and as bad, although existence always includes bad things and good things. We're the ones who say yes to this and no to that, but obviously existence includes yes and no, each in its own time, each in its own way. This is the bargaining. Give me the yeses, and please don't bring the nos. Give me the pleasures, and please keep the pains away. And yet there's never been a life on this planet that didn't include pleasure and pain, yes and no. So I'm saying to you, it is possible to stop fooling yourself. That life should include only yes and only pleasure, and should exclude pain and the no. It is possible. It's absolutely possible to come to a point of acceptance, to meet life, to meet existence on its own terms. And that's spiritual maturity. In one form or another, no matter how it happens, no matter what the specifics are, that's the only method to inner peace. The acceptance of reality. Not your reality, not your interpretation or what you hope reality is, but reality as it is, irrespective of your preference. Because that's how it already is. Everything I'm saying is based on the notion that it's already the case. And if there's any truth in that, isn't it more intelligent to recognize that? It's painful to recognize that. It's a loss. It's a deflation. We're not this grand thing we thought. We're not this valiant individual trying to make things right. We're just who we are, in the middle of all that is. But there's a great relief in recognizing that. And the more you experience it directly, the easier things are. But the price is being willing to give up our inflation. The price is being willing to recognize the truth, which means that we don't put ourselves on this high pedestal. That we don't unrealistically expect ourselves to control everything that happens to us. It is a price. It hurts. It hurts to finally recognize once and for all and really admit to ourselves, really accept that we don't have all this sway we've always thought we do. That all our doings and comings and goings don't have the great meaning we tend to give them. 100 years from now, will it matter what you did last Thursday? Now, Thursday, it seemed to matter. When you were in the middle of it, it seems important. It seems necessary. And I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying all of that sits within something much bigger. And if you can move your perspective to include that expansiveness, if you can expand your perspective through understanding, aren't you better off? It doesn't mean denying anything or talking yourself into something. It means opening to more, opening to what's vaster. And this is the possibility for anyone and everyone. It's especially the possibility if you're listening to this. It's especially the possibility for you, because not everyone can listen to this. Many people would reject what I'm saying out of hand. They wouldn't listen. They wouldn't come to listen. And if they somehow heard it, they'd shut their ears. So if you're here tonight, or if you're listening to the CD of this, you are already in the forefront. You are already in the very few who are willing to entertain this potential to plug into what's vaster. This is how you've been blessed in this lifetime. The fact that this is possible for you in this lifetime. This is not possible for everyone. Potentially, sure. But most people are not seeking this. They're not open to it. Their attention is elsewhere. And that's fine. But what matters is that yours is on something bigger. That doesn't make you special. That doesn't make you better than someone else. But it means something's possible for you that's closer to the truth. That's closer to the inner peace that everyone is looking for. You really have to recognize that it's possible. It's not a dream. It's not an idea. Just this openness to what's being said right now puts you in the category that absolute inner peace is possible for you. that the bargaining with existence can stop in you. That fighting with life doesn't have to be your life anymore or for the rest of your life. That the day can come for you when the real potential is reached. It's experienced 1,000 different ways. Some people call it realization. Some people call it inner peace. Some people call it enlightenment. Some people call it oneness with God. You can call it 1,000 different things. But it always means the same thing. You're no longer fighting with existence. You're no longer focused on the minutia. The minutia no longer has your full attention. You're able to move your attention to that which it all sits in. And you're able to have some experience of that directly. And the result is you don't feel separate ever again. Even if for a moment here and there you forget, it doesn't matter. Deep down, the experiences of non-separation. And remember how vast existence is. Non-separation includes feelings of separation. It isn't polar. It isn't the opposite. This existence is so vast that everything is included. The mind turns it into a polarity. Separation, non-separation. But existence doesn't work in polarities. Existence includes everything all at the same time. So it doesn't matter if for a moment you feel separate. It doesn't matter if for a moment you feel unpeaceful. That doesn't mean you've lost your peace. That doesn't mean you've lost your non-separateness. It simply means your attention has momentarily gone elsewhere. It's all good news. It means much more is already the case than we generally realize. It means you don't have to go out and achieve some special state of consciousness. You don't have to climb some holy mountain to get to some special place. And then you become special. You become some rarefied awareness that gets it. Oddly enough, however it seems or feels to you, and I swear to you this is the truth, you've already got it. There's nobody who doesn't have it. The question is, are you willing to recognize that? Are you willing to give up the fight? Are you willing to just be you? Just as you are. Because existence has already said to you, here you are. By the way, you're you. By the way, you're just as you are. It's already the case. It's already the truth. It's already the conditions that you're in. That's what you've already got it means. And if you really have to get something, then get that. Oddly enough, it's all good news. You are what you are. Existence is responsible for that, not you. You're completely part of it. You're part of existence. You're not even separate from it in any way. To say part is a trick of language. It's holographic. You're all of it. So consider that there's no need to go around the car in front of you. Consider that you're already on the right road, going at the right speed, in exactly the right direction. Because existence has already taken care of that fact. And it's doing it through you. Now, why bargain to change that? Doesn't it seem wiser to find a way to accept that? Existence chose you to be that which you are and fulfill the role and live the life that you think of as you. So can you really go very wrong? If you can see existence as responsible for everything, isn't that closer to the truth? Existence chose you and made you just the way you are. So if you find some fault with it, fine, but know that that's your idea. Existence has not found any fault with it, with anything about you, no matter who you are. And the truth is, it's possible for you to absolutely know that. That knowing is what people call inner peace. Let it come more and more to you.